We were talking about NBA champions before, so it's only right we discuss this year, with about a week left in the regular season, a week and a half, our top five playoff contender rankings. Who's going first, fellas?
Let me take the reins. I want to start from one because it's my fifth team. It's probably going to cause the most controversy. So I'm going to start from one. Number one, I'm keeping them there. They were my preseason pick to go to the NBA Finals out of the Eastern Conference. Is the John looked like he was about to have a heart attack. The Boston Celtics. I believe that they are still the best overall team in basketball right now. I think they're the deepest team. And I also think that they have something to prove. I think a lot of people are underrating them. I think a lot of people are just picking Milwaukee because Milwaukee has the best player on the court. And because they believe if Chris Middleton was there last year, Milwaukee would have put up a much better shot and probably would have won. But I think we forget about this with Boston. In the finals, one of the obviously the turnovers were an insane part of it. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were getting cookied left and right. But one issue was they didn't have a guy to really set them up, put them into their right sets. And we begged, not just us, but NBA fans, Boston Celtics fans, probably even a lot more, for a true point guard, somebody to set them up. Do we forget? They fixed that. They added that man, Malcolm Brogdon. I believe he is 48, 40, and 90 this year. Very close to, he's already done 50, 40, 90 once. I would expect him more assists. I think he's at 3.7, but probably coming off the bench, it's probably, lesser. But they've got that guy now. They fixed the one issue that we looked at and said, this is the issue with the Celtics. They don't have a true point guard. They fixed that. So that's why I keep the Celtics as my number one team. I know the head coach is brand new. He's done a great job in the regular season, and the playoffs is a different beast, so he's going to have to prove himself all over again, but I have faith. Number two, the Phoenix Suns. In my opinion, in Justin's opinion, they are a super team. The concerns with this team are the injuries, obviously. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and KD all have injury histories. KD literally, not even 3 days ago, just came back. And I believe this is one question mark that hasn't been spoken on. Will the chemistry be there late in playoff games? Will it be there? Because they haven't played that often together. And I know it's running smoothly now in the regular season. But we all know the playoffs are a different animal. And when the game gets tight and the fans get a little more rowdy, and maybe you're on the road and you're down, things might get a little, choppy. So that's an interesting thing to look at. Number three, I got the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I believe the third candidate in the MVP race right now. Their only question is Middleton going to be 100% ready to go full throttle for the playoffs? I know he's playing a lot more recently, but they still have to put it all together. And they're just right there for me with that one question mark is Chris Middleton. And I am not the biggest believer in Drew Holiday offensively. He's a very, very good playmaker, an elite defender. It's just as a scorer and a shooter, he's very streaky, and I don't trust it that much. So if Middleton doesn't show up, you're going to have to lean on him, and we saw how that worked out last year. Number four, we got the Denver Nuggets, Johnny Boy's team. They got Jokic, who I believe is going to be crowned the three-time MVP back-to-back this year, damn near averaging a triple-double. I mean, it's 0.1 off with the assist rate. It probably could change at any point in time. They have freaking Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and AG. You're thankful that Murray is back healthy. Michael Porter Jr. is not dealing with any injuries right now, so that's good. They're going in the playoffs strong. Well, not strong. They're losing still games that they shouldn't be losing, but that's where I have number four. My only issues with them is defensively, and they still, injuries can creep up on them. It's just more defensively that they have lapses there. And then my 15, the team that I think is going to draw up a little controversy. Now, this is only if everybody is healthy. But my fifth team, and if they are healthy, they could probably move even higher. But I'm going to be respectful to the teams in front of them. The Los Angeles Lakers are my 5th team in playoff championship contenders. If all healthy, there is not a better duo on the court than LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the NBA right now. Not one. Any team they go up against, they're the 2 best players on the court.
Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Devin Booker's
Devin
not
Booker
top
is
10.
a lot more consistent than Anthony Davis.
Again, you're missing my point. You are missing my point.
AD's issue is not just health, it's consistency.
He's balling out this last month. I mean, it's very good sighting to see that he goes down with the injury, comes back and drops what, 38 and 14, 15?
AD at his peak is better than Devin Booker, but
Yeah.
he is not consistently dominant in the same way you have suggested and pointed out in the season.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, if you want to make that case, you can. I think you lose that case because I believe AD and LeBron are just that much better than KD and Devin Booker. And no disrespect to Booker, I just think he's the lesser one. And if you want to talk defensively, I mean, AD, none of those guys are on AD's level defensively. I just truly believe those 2 guys walking on any court are the best 2 players in any series they go up against. If healthy, I'd favor them against Memphis. I'd favor them against Sacramento. I think they've got a real good shot to beat Denver because of their defensive liabilities. The Clippers, is Paul George going to be there? I don't know. And even if he is, I like the Lakers shot. The Warriors, who the hell is guarding AD on that team? And you've spoken on Phoenix's their soft man, DeAndre Ayton, John has called him. If AD's going, good luck with that. So my 15 Los Angeles Lakers, they are my true sleeper. If they are healthy, and I really freaking just hope that they are, and they're hitting on all cylinders, y'all better look the hell out.
I'm with you on the Lakers. I mean, I don't have them in my top 5, but I don't blame you for having them there. I'll go with mine. Number 1, I know they just got smacked by freaking 40 points, but I'm still gonna roll with Milwaukee. Chris Middleton's out there, and granted, he was on the floor when they got smacked. I still believe that this team, and many have also said this, that this may be a better team than their championship team. I do think that come postseason, and like you said, Brandon, last year, if Middleton is healthy, they're probably making a run at it too. I'm going to roll Milwaukee more so. They had the experience, and I think it's crazy because we've grown so used to Giannis and all the things that he does on the court that him averaging 30 points is just now something that we're just coming to expect. So the guy's an absolute animal, the Greek freak for a reason. I'm going to take them number 1. Number 2, because I truly believe the powers in the NBA, and I do believe that there's a good chance your NBA champion lies in the Eastern Conference. And I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics. I know it's easy to go 1-2, but I really believe this. I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, that duo is unstoppable. And I believe that duo can give LeBron and AD a run for their money as one of the best duos in the NBA. Number 3, then I'll go into the West. I'll go with Phoenix. Kevin Durant and that super team in Phoenix with Devin Booker, the point guard, and Chris Paul. I still believe DeAndre Ayton, while John doesn't have as much faith in him as I do, I do think that he can spark an offense by the snap of a finger. So I'm going to roll with Phoenix there as my number 3. I'm going to kick it back to the Eastern Conference for number 4. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. Now, this may be the weird one because I know a lot of you guys don't believe in what James Harden can do. And he seems to me he's the X factor going into any playoff series for Philadelphia. I know what Joel Embiid is going to bring, but we do not know what version of James Harden we are going to see. If there's any postseason where we can spell any of James Harden's past mistakes in the postseason, it is now. You are not the guy. You can sit back. You can facilitate. You can score efficiently. I think we're going to see a different version of James Harden in this postseason. That was number 4, am I right? All right, so number 5, this one's tough. I'm not going the Nuggets. I do not believe. I believe their defense is going to be their fall. I do believe if the Nuggets were to go into a series against a team like Sacramento that can score at will, it will pose threats to anything that Denver can do. I think they'll instantly hit the panic button. I don't know why I'm not so much of a believer on Denver. Maybe it's solely the defense. Jokic will be exposed defensively. He can score, he can pass, he can rebound, but he cannot guard a cone. So I'm going to go and straight up say Memphis is my 5th team in this ranking. I think Ja Morant healthy, back on the floor. I love what Memphis is bringing. I love the nasty attitude. And, I was hating on it earlier in the season, but I kind of love the chaos that they bring. I think Memphis has a legit shot in the Western Conference this year to bring one home.
Okay. Justin Ray's high on Memphis, low on Denver. He talks about a panic button there. I think if anyone's saying the panic button, it's Doc Rivers in the playoffs, but I'm going to go 5-1, fellas. At number 5, I've wrestled between a couple of different teams. A couple of them are pretenders. And that's why, to me, we are ranking playoff contenders. We're not ranking regular season teams. We're ranking who we think has the best chances to go to the NBA championship this season. Number 5 for me is the Golden State Warriors. The best 5-man lineup this year features Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, Kevon Looney, and Draymond Green. You have Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench, and Andrew Wiggins is reportedly coming back for the playoffs. We'll have to see how his conditioning looks after missing over a month. Hasn't played since February, but I think Wiggins' role is what it's going to be last year. He won't be asked to play anything more than that, especially with how well Klay Thompson's be able to play in his absence. Golden State is arguably the best coach in the conference. Draymond Green, who's a top 2 or 3 defender, he's still got a case for Defensive Player of the Year, even though the Warriors' defense has fallen off this year, particularly on the road. And I think a lot of their struggles this year have come against bad teams. They're going to step up to the level of the competition when it's the biggest of moments. And I'm putting my faith in the real favorite. Last year they were the favorite to many people, but ultimately they are the defending champions. At number 4, I have the Phoenix Suns, a step above the Warriors. And the reason why is because I'm expecting Kevin Durant to be on the court, and I feel like I know what I'm getting. He came back rest against the Timberwolves, but the next game he has 30 points. With Devin Booker and Chris Paul, I trust this Suns team against the Denver. If there's any team that's going to exploit Jokic defensively, it would be KD in pick and roll. Same with Devin Booker. I think the Suns, offensively, from a matchup perspective, give a lot of drop back bigs a lot of trouble in pick and roll, especially. And defensively, I have my concerns with Ayton, but I really think Monty Williams has done a great job this year with a limited bench, just plug and playing different guys. Some, like TJ Warren one night, next night it's Landry Shamet, Terrence Ross, a bunch of hopscotch players that aren't particularly rotation players in another team. The Suns are patching up together, and Campaign's another one of those guys as well. Number 3 for me, I have the Boston Celtics. In the regular season, the Boston Celtics, to me, are in the top 2. Actually, they're in top 3 still, because the Nuggets are ahead of them. The Celtics' concern is the fact they haven't done it yet. They don't get to the rim a whole lot, the same way the Phoenix Suns don't. I do not trust Jason Tatum quite as much as I do Kevin Durant. I trust him more in the postseason. But the difference for the Celtics is that they have a much better bench and more depth, more clarity with Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White, who have both been excellent this year. From a backcourt perspective, those 2 guards and Marcus Smart are too good to overlook, and that's just so much support around JT and JB. Now, I do think in the playoffs, Jaylen Brown is also the best number 2. So it's not just the Celtics have the backcourt, but they have so much support around Tatum. I think, though I trust KD more, you know what you're getting from the Celtics team. And defensively, I expect them to be better in the postseason, where they've shown, with a different head coach, Ime Udoka, but the same exact roster, their scheme does work with Robert Williams. The question for them obviously would though be, their best rim protector in Rob Will is a massive health risk, as we've seen throughout the season, missing over half the year. Number 2 for me, above the Celtics and the Suns, I have the Denver Nuggets. And this is by far the most risky bet of the group, because they're a bad matchup against the Suns. But when I look at the Western Conference, no one can guard Nikola Jokic. And I think what he does as an offensive generator is way more proven than what we've seen from Phoenix in terms of, okay, the guys went to the conference finals with a worse supporting cast. The last time he had a healthy core, he went to the conference finals. And, Justin, you said he couldn't guard a comb before, and I take some reservation to that, because he is a fine defender. In the same way Joel Embiid may struggle in pick and roll against shooters in a perimeter-oriented league, so will Nikola Jokic. He's just not the level of an athlete or a shot blocker.
His athleticism will get exposed.
Marc Gasol wasn't a great athlete. He won a Defensive Player of the Year. Jokic is average.
How far did that get him in the playoffs?
No less. Against
outside
the
of Toronto.
Okay,
Don't mention that one year.
You know what, Justin? The Celtics last year were the best defense in the NBA, and Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, and so on and so forth ripped them to shreds. No one could stop the Warriors last year. The Nuggets were the first test. That is not them. That's the league not being able to stop the Warriors because no, even Marc Gasol in the finals in 2019 had trouble guarding that team, though they won. And if KD stayed healthy, no one could guard the Warriors offensively. That's why I had them in my top 5. I'm not going to disrespect them. I think the Nuggets defensively are going to be just fine with Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope against every team but the Suns. The Suns are the one team where I say if they match up in a series, Jokic has to be the best player on the floor. And I think he can be. There's a little bit of health concerns with, of course, the Suns, because Chris Paul, every year like clockwork, is starting the playoffs. And Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have had their injury issues the last couple of years. With Jokic, he has not had the injury issues. He sat out the last 2 games. I look defensively, yes, that matchup is a red flag. But altogether offensively, especially in the clutch this year, what you wouldn't recommend, the Nuggets are the #1 clutch defense. 94.6 defensive rating. That is better than the 76ers. With, guess who? Nikola Jokic at center. And part of the reason why is because of how much Jokic raises your floor offensively as a playmaker, you can play off of him your 4 best defenders. Now, Michael Malone this year struggled with that. He hasn't played one of them, Christian Brown, quite enough off Nikola. But I think ultimately in the playoffs, I'm going to put my faith in the 2nd best player in the world. Now, the team at #1 for me has the best player in the world. Not for that reason, but one of the main reasons. The Bucks to me are #1. Giannis has proven in a playoff crucible, coming off a knee hyperextension, he can do it. He has done it. And there's a lot of concerns here with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, but the 2 keys here that didn't do nothing against the Celtics in their most recent game are Joe Ingles and Jay Crowder. What are the Bucks' biggest concerns? 3-point shooting and 2-way versatility. Well, Jay Crowder in 2020 was a key part of a Miami offense that was awesome, that went to the finals, and defensively had that physicality. I think the bumping and bruising that Jay Crowder can play on the perimeter against Jason Tatum, by the end of a series could weigh him down, wear him out. Brook Lopez this year is my defensive player of the year. The guy gets better with age. He just turned 35 years old, but like Steph Curry is playing the best basketball of his life. He's an elite rim protector, one of the 2 best shot blockers in the world. He's doing a lot of pick and roll with Joe Ingles. Ingles takes a lot of responsibility off Drew Holiday as both an off-ball player and on the ball and pick and roll. He can do a little bit, both of their bigs. He can space the floor. He can move it. And because he's playing next to the best front court defensively in the league, Joe Ingles' concerns as a defender moving laterally on the perimeter won't really get exposed quite as much. And the Bucks this year have placed a larger emphasis on guarding the corner 3. What killed them last year in the playoffs? Grant Williams in the corner. So Mike Budenholzer is one of the top 10 coaches in the league. He's not perfect. I've seen him adjust. I've seen him get a great 2-way wing and a really good bench forward that can do a little bit of everything offensively. So my top 5 would be the Warriors #5. Honorable mention to the Memphis Grizzlies. At #4, the Phoenix Suns. There's some health concerns. If there weren't, I'd have them in my top 3. #3, right above them, I got the Celtics. 2, I've got the Nuggets. By the way, the Nuggets for me, they moved up 3 spots. The Celtics moved up 1. The Suns moved up 13. I had them pretty low in the standings going into the year. But #1, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. They're my #2 pick in the preseason. By the end of the regular season, they've went all the way up to #1.
Okay.